Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy the Mad Kygo, up here today with another dedicated collection video. I'm going to be showing off, it's going to be a two-part video unfortunately, because as you can see, they're still behind there. And that is my horror DVD collection. As you know, horror is one of my favourite genres. It goes horror for me, top 3 horror, comedy, and possibly either sci-fi, maybe animation. I know animation isn't classed as a standalone genre, but it's a hard one. And I love all sorts of horror. As you'll see in this video, I've got horror from all sorts, from, psychological, serial killers, slashers, classics, modern, stuff like that. And horror is a good genre to collect for because it is a very sought after genre. So 9 times out of 10 when you buy horror stuff, there is a good market for it. But obviously I'm going to go straight into it. I just thought I'd start before I start the video. I have started Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm liking it so far. I'm not too overly keen on the combat style because it's got that Souls-like combat. But I'm slowly getting used to it. Each game was slightly different from the last, but so far so good. So obviously first up we have my 200 Tales of Terror box set, which obviously I've already done unboxing videos for it. Unfortunately, it has sort of broken a little bit over the years, unfortunately, with all the moving and stuff like that. That's the cover. But the good thing is I did actually find a little booklet for it as well, which actually tells you a slight synopsis of each film, and obviously the one that was released, who's in each video. The only problem that I do have with this is it doesn't actually tell you the length of each movie, which can be kind of annoying if you want to watch a film and you ain't got a lot of time and you don't know how long it is. And then the discs obviously come on like this. Some of the discs are double-sided, some of them are like that with 4 movies on. I just need to go through this one day and make sure everything's in order. I've seen about 4 or 5 of the discs on here, but I think when I get back to watching it I'll just restart it. But 200 movies on here. Some of them aren't horror, some of them are like mystery and thriller, but it's got classics on here, tons of movies. If you guys want to see a full video for it, I have done previous unboxings showing off. But I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but that's just showing how many movies are on there. Mill Creek set. There is 3 other ones in this style. There's the cult movie selection, which actually has a bunch of stuff that I've already got in previous sets. And then there's a Western one, and there's a war one, which is a documentary. I do want to hunt the other one down for collection purposes. But this is it is a Region 1 set. But I have actually managed to play it on multiple devices, and it worked on all of them. So don't forget the little booklet. But I love that set, one of my prized possessions. And the best part is, because it's Region 1, I can't sell it in CEX. So here we go. First up we have Final Destination, the original. I enjoyed this movie, sort of a horror thriller movie. I enjoyed it. I think this is probably the best out of the 5 films. I enjoyed it for what it is. Then we have Final Destination 2, much of the same from the first one. Sort of people who cheat death and then basically they start dying one by one. I enjoy them. I know that there's a 6th one in the making. I do have the others, but it's a bit all over the place at the moment. Final Destination 5, which I actually really enjoyed this one. The twist ending at the end, obviously, spoiler alert, basically this movie, the final part of this movie is actually the start of the first movie. So this is technically a prequel to the original Final Destination, but you don't know that until the end. I thought it was when I first seen it, I was like, wow, that's how they did it. Next up we have Inside, which I've heard is really good. I've heard good things about it, sort of gruesome, violent. Not a long movie at 79 minutes, but it is a French film. I've heard good things about this one. Still sealed. Am I going to upgrade all of these to Blu-rays? If I watch the movie and I like it, then I'll probably upgrade to Blu-ray if I see them in the future. If I don't like them, then there's no point upgrading them. If I don't see myself rewatching them, you know my stance on upgrading to Blu-ray. Next up, Interview with a Vampire, which is it a horror movie or is it a thriller? I don't really know whether or not this is like an actual horror movie or what, but because it's obviously vampires, I put it in with the horror. I've heard good things about it. Jigsaw, which I actually enjoyed this movie up until the ending. The twist at the end, I seen it coming, but the way that they did it was really stupid. The guy sort of stands up and he's talking, he's like fucking Terminator. But much better than Spiral. I don't have Spiral anymore. I don't want Spiral in my collection. Hated Spiral. Looking forward to Saw 10 though. See, I've heard they're going to go back to the roots of them. I Spit on Your Grave 1 and 2 double pack. I did actually have the Blu-rays for all of the I Spit on Your Grave. Unfortunately, I had to sell it without watching them. But I know it's not an expensive Blu-ray set, so I'll be able to buy it back in the future. Then we have Junk, which is a sort of Asian extreme zombie virus type movie. Looks low budget as hell, but looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I love Asian cinema. Japan is, I'd say it's either between China or Japan is my favourite Asian region for cinema. 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. I've only seen parts of 28 Days Later, but I have watched 28 Weeks Later. I enjoy 28 Weeks Later, but I've heard obviously Days Later is a much better film. Of course, Danny Boyle. It was kind of when this movie came out, a lot of people weren't expecting much, but really good sort of virus-themed British movies. They're infected, not zombies. The biggest difference, zombies are people who have come back from the dead and eat people for the sake of it, to survive. Whereas infected are people that bite people to pass on the virus, and they can run and sprint and stuff like that. Next we have Attack of the Werewolves with a nice sort of lenticular cover. Looks like it says Shaun of the Dead meets the Wolfman, so I'm expecting horror comedy. And then we have 2001 Maniacs, the remake. This is the Wes Craven remake with Robert Englund. I don't know if it's Wes Craven or not, but I've not seen the original and I've not seen this one yet, but I'm expecting it to be bloody and violent. Doom, which is a horror movie. Well, I'd say it is an action horror movie. You've got demons and zombie-esque things. I enjoyed this movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but how can you do a Doom movie? I don't know. It's literally a game where you're going around blasting monsters and demons for the sake of it. So it's one of them games that's very hard to do a movie for, but I thought it was entertaining. Dead Rising Watchtower. I haven't seen either of the Dead Rising films. I've heard it's a good movie. It's quite faithful to the games. If you like the games, you know what to expect. Next, we've got a double pack with Cave Girl and Witchcraft. I don't know if these are full-on horror movies or they're like Skinamax, Full Moon type things. Who knows? Then we have the Critters collection with Critters 1 to 4. I think I've only seen one of the Critters movies. I think it might have been the third one with Leonardo DiCaprio, if you can believe that. Basically like little creatures, chaotic, like Gremlin-esque, but a bit more violent. Then we have Mega Piranha, one of these crappy giant monster fish shark type movies. I don't like them, but at the same time they can be quite funny. The original Pet Sematary, I haven't seen the original, but the remake was absolutely terrible. I thought the remake was just so boring, but I've heard the original is much better. Predator, I know this is sci-fi, but it's basically a killer alien hunting people in the Forest. I'd say it's somewhat horror. I'd say it's horror-esque action horror movie. Let me know. Do you think Predator's a horror movie or what? I personally think it's horror-esque. Nazi zombies. Just quite simple. Nazi zombies. I like Dead Snow and stuff. 7 Days. I've heard this looks pretty good. It's a disturbing sort of film. I'm guessing it's like revenge-esque type thing. Resident Evil Degeneration. I'll be honest with you, I like the Resident Evil movies, but the animated ones are the best ones, I personally would say. Really like the animated ones. Mother Krampus, a Christmas horror film. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favourite Christmas horror film? I've never watched any of the Krampus films. I don't think this is, you know. Then we have Monster Brawl. This just looks amazing. It's got Kevin Nash and Jimmy Hart, and it's basically like monsters wrestling each other and fighting each other. It just sounds insane. It looks like something that's going to be insane, and I mean, how could I not have it? You know, two of my favourite things, wrestling and horror put together. Why not? A Nightmare Hostel. Don't know much about it. I don't really know. It says it's based on actual events, psychiatric evil doctor, I think, something like that. Outpost. I've heard good things about the Outpost movies. I don't think I've seen Outpost. I always get this mixed up with Overlord. And yeah, I don't think I've seen this one. But again, Nazi zombies. Land of the Dead, which I actually really enjoyed this movie. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Zombies. Let Me In, which is a remake of Let the Right One In, which a lot of people said didn't actually need a remake. But I've heard it's actually a pretty good one at that. It's definitely it's a remake, but a lot of people said it's really good. I think it's like a vampire invasion, like home invasion, vampire-esque movie, something like that. Quarantine, which is basically a remake of a shot-for-shot remake of the movie Wreck. I actually personally think that Wreck is better, but they're very similar in the movie. So if you've seen Wreck, chances are you'll probably watch this and go, it's the same movie. It's got some slight differences. It's not a bad movie, but it's very similar to Wreck. If you enjoy Wreck, you'll probably enjoy this one. If you've never seen Wreck, then you just watch this one. But I don't know. I personally think Wreck 1 was better. But a good sort of POV movie, good tension and stuff. All-time classic, Bride of Frankenstein. I've never seen any of the Universal movies, but it makes me laugh. This is rated a 15. I'm surprised that it's got a rating of a 15. I don't know why. Of course, classics, one of the all-time greatest movies. Meat Grinder, an Asian extreme movie. I'm expecting like cannibalism, dismemberment, torture porn. Looks disgusting. Amityville 3, which actually is part of the original Amityville. I weren't sure if it is. It's been a while since I've watched Amityville, but I got that cheap. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is the I think this is the remake. I can't remember who did this one. It's the remake, the first remake that they did. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember it being pretty decent. It doesn't say when it came out. I can't remember. Let me know in the comments below. I actually thought it was pretty decent. I assume this is the, yeah, I'm not too sure. I think this is the remake. I could be wrong, but I thought it was decent. It's not as good as obviously the originals. Paranormal Ascendancy. I don't know much about it. Predator 2. Again, is it horror? It's a killer. Basically, it's a serial killer alien. So I'd say it's, you know, Psycho's in Love. I don't know if this is horror, but it looks like it's got like horror comedy. You know, I sort of throw these violent movies in with horror sometimes, you know, bloody movies. Prey, I think it's about like a killer lion that's got out and going crazy, almost like Zoo or something. Rites of Spring, I don't know much about this one, but it looks creepy. Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie. I haven't seen any of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. I need to get the first one before I watch that one. Let me know your favourite Halloween movie. I think the original is definitely the best. Sharktopus versus Paraguda. I don't... What... Do you need to know any more about that? Krampus, which I've heard good things about this one. Evil killer teddy bear there. Night of the Dead. I think I watched this a while ago and it was pretty bad. It's basically like zombies with knights, but I do like that cover art. The Hills of Ice 2, the remake, which I actually really enjoyed the remake of Hills of Ice. I haven't seen this one though. Toby Hooper ones. Wakewood, again, I think this is again sort of another like Killer Woods type movies. Voodoo Priest with Danny Trejo. Again, I'm expecting, you know, well, it's in the title there, isn't it? So, Battle of the Damned, which is actually my friend, so I'll give it back to him. It was pretty bad. Zombie with robots. It weren't terrible, but it weren't great. Are You Scared? Basically, it's like Saw, but a lot worse. This movie could have been really good, but I actually thought it was terrible. Apartment 1243, I think it goes by the name Emergo. Army of Frankenstein. This just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Armies of Frankenstein, monsters, and stuff like that. Then we got ABCs of Death 1 and 2. I really enjoy these movies. Really just sort of wacky, crazy movies. Unfortunately, this one is a, I think, Swedish or Norwegian version, but it will still play in English. I like these anthology movies. Then we have American Mary. I've heard good things about this one. The Soska sisters, of course, when they, obviously the brothers who made The Matrix, when they got transgender, obviously changed genders. Their first movie, horror movie. Zombieland, which is obviously horror comedy. It's been a while since I've seen it. The original Halloween, which I do want to get an upgrade for, of course. But I love this movie. You can't beat it. Anaconda Collection with the 4 Anaconda films. Again, giant killer snakes. Ring, which is the Japanese version of Ring, also known as Ringu. Again, SS Hellcamp, which is I think it goes by the name of The Beast in Heat. I think again, one of those really, I think it's like video nasty-esque things. I think this is the US version. Killer Tattooist. Don't know much about this one, but it looks like it's going to be sort of thriller type thing. Lady Vengeance. I don't know. I wouldn't really call this horror, but I throw it in there with the extreme, you know, movies. You know, because it's very violent and stuff. Monster Wolf. Hell House, the Book of Samuel. I'll be honest with you, the back artwork looks like it's going to be extremely low budget, but it looks like a lot of fun. Triple box set with Skew, House of Bones, and Underground. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Again, one of those sort of early, like serial killer phone movies. House of Wax remake. Well, it's a remake of a remake, because obviously there was the Mystery of the Wax Museum, which was obviously a remake of the original one, which obviously the Vincent Price movie, and then this was a remake. I actually thought this movie was decent. You know, it's not a terrible movie, but not the best movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Then we have Creep. This just looks like it's going to be sort of violent. Public transport. You know, I think it's British. Could be wrong though. Cry Wolf. Another sort of thriller, horror thriller movie. It's hard to really find where does horror start and thriller start and borders. I kind of throw in what I personally think is horror. Captivity. Again, some of these films, are they horror? Are they not? Well, there's so many different types of horror. Blood Rain. Again, is it horror? I'd say it is horror. You know, it's killer, it's vampires and stuff like that. So, Baba Yaga. Again, another one of these exploitation movies. You know, Shameless collection. Blood Rain 2. Then we've got Final Destination 3 and 4. Although this one's called 3D, but it's the fourth one. Why this one says it's got 10 out of 10, I don't know. I thought all of them were a lot of fun, but I wouldn't say they're all 10 out of 10 movies. Flavia the Heretic. Again, another video nasty. And then we've got Wrong Turn 1 to 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I know there's 6, and then there's a rebooted one. Wishmaster from Wes Craven. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Corny and cheesy, something like along the lines of Puppet Master. And then the last two we have Walled In. And then Werewolves of the Third Reich. Not Nazi zombies, but Nazi werewolves. And there we go, guys. So there we have it. There's part 1 of my horror DVD collection. Let me know in the comments below which one here is your favourite here, and do you have any of these? Which ones are worth checking out? Which one should I avoid? Obviously, I'll check them all out when I get round to it. But if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Do what I just said, essentially. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to play some more Assassin's Creed Valhalla tonight. And I'm going to watch something on Paramount. I think I'm going to watch Scream. I've never watched any of the Scream movies, so I thought, might as well. And then either way, guys, as always, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.